So Richard, another Friday. The week has just passed by in a fast tempo. So another bottle. What do we have in front of us?
Something which I really think it's exciting to taste because I've tasted so few. Quite logical, since the house Frerejean Frères is a very recent one. They just started, and this is the second vintage, as far as I know. Frerejean is coming from the Taittinger family. You know, there are many families in this big family of Taittinger, and one more than the people who are making Taittinger today created their own champagne house and are really aiming high. They have the production center in Avis, the Grand Cru. A lot of good grapes in the Côte Blanc especially, but also from all the region. And they make a very nice Cuvée Prestige. And this is a new vintage, which I have never tasted before. So it's 2006. Looking at labels today, it's so much easier and better today because there's so much information normally. Just grab the bottle if you don't know so much. Premier Cru, just Premier Cru grapes, 2006. You see from the front label. Cépage grapes, 50% Chardonnay, 50% Pinot Noir, 11 years in the cellar, quite long, before disgorgement. Extra Brut doesn't say so exactly how much sugar it is, but we will probably see that when we are tasting. So, time to taste. See what they're doing.
And on the front label, I think you have the total production was also quite tiny.
Yeah, exactly. 6,000 bottles.
6,000 bottles of a Premier Cru. All right.
Rather golden color. I mean, we're standing here with a lot of light, and normally that makes the champagne a lot more pale. But this time, great depth, surprisingly dark for me.
Yeah, I would say.
When you look, 2006, a fruity big vintage, a little bit more color from that. But just looking at it, it would probably be more like 70 or 80% Pinot Noir, just by
for sure.
the eye.
And beautiful persistent bubbles, very lazy but persistent.
Very.
Looks really good.
Wow. A bit of a surprise, I would say, because it's much stronger. It is much more Pinot Noir dominated on the nose than the actual amount of Chardonnay and Pinot Noir grapes. I got a lot of figs. I got a lot of leather notes. Not so much exotic fruit that you normally find in the 06. Very mature.
That was what I was thinking about, because we've tasted a lot of 06s, and I know that is one of your big hang-ups, that tropical fruitiness that sometimes takes away that complexity, and in the young versions, slightly too tropical.
It's too tropical normally, but with age, I think they can be really great, but it needs really long time. Just by judging by the nose, I will say that here, this is probably slightly too developed. And lacking a little bit of this fruit that will make the champagne mature better. But let's taste.
Good TV, silent when two guys are slurping.
With the same haircut as well. Well, same impressions. For me, as the nose, much more mature, more Pinot Noir style than the Chardonnay, despite the actual content. More leather. Again, I didn't say that, but one of the most striking aromas is the sweet licorice, almost the Basset licorice that you can find. Both on the palate and on the nose. Rather mature. I think it's more a gastronomic champagne. It's not in the house style as I've seen it, with much more elegance, more Chardonnay-based blends, more creaminess. I think this one is a little bit more sturdy, a little bit more mature, and more on the leathery side, more on the fruit, the autumn-like kind of fruit, and more gastronomic. I will probably serve something like mushrooms, sweet bread, foie gras, something like that.
I agree. On the nose there, after what you said there, I also find some biscuity notes and darker biscuity notes like rye bread. And
rye bread. Yeah.
Over to that. And with that depth and matured character, it's not that much of mature mushrooms that you would expect, which tells that it's not a pure Blanc de Noir.
No.
But still, it's very mature. It's quite supple. Elegant, as you say, sweetbreads would be pan-fried sweetbreads would be fantastic with this style. I also would love it with, a little risotto with cepe mushroom, but not too deep of the mushroomy notes. That would be fantastic.
Could be some chanterelle, because you have this chanterelle aroma when the butter is melting, the butteriness from the Chardonnay. On the palate, you can find more of the Chardonnay. Than you can on the
with the freshness there, I do agree.
But a little bit one-dimensional, and definitely better with food than without.